Welcome back as I seek out Yorkshire's perfect pint for a beer festival I'm holding to celebrate the best of our county's ales. Well, this is Barley, one of the main constituents of beer. And I'm really looking forward to today because we're going for a picnic on the Yorkshire Wolds and we're going to meet a farmer who has diversified into brewing and is growing his own barley to use in his own beer. And we're going to have a picnic. Doesn't matter what the weather, we're having a picnic. My chauffeur and I are heading east to the Yorkshire Wolds, just a few miles from Filey. As we learnt in the last programme, malted barley is the main ingredient of beer. And farmers like Tom Mellor have been growing the stuff in the Wolds for centuries.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
you. Yeah, Jill.
And Jill, hello Jill. I brought the picnic. I'm rather hoping you might have some beer. 5 years ago, facing an uncertain future in farming, Tom and his wife Jill decided to put their top-class barley to good use and turned redundant farm buildings into Wold Top Brewery.
I mean, I looked at the resources that we had on the farm, and the two main things that we have is that we've been growing malting barley for donkey's years, and we also have our own water supply. And so I put the two and two together and came up with the idea of brewing beer. This is a head of Marisotta barley here. We're just about to harvest it now. This is exactly what our big machine does, yeah. It sort of threshes it and then cleans it. And when we've finished, you'll be left with the grains like that.
Well, we actually send this straight off to the maltsters.
So you're actually supplying other breweries, aren't
We're
you?
supplying a lot of breweries, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we probably would be using 20–25% of what we actually send. But we still can guarantee that what we use is ours, that they keep it separate.
You normally think of the warmer climes of Kent when it comes to growing hops, which are the flowers that give beer its aroma. But with their own barley and water source, why not go the whole hog?
Well, I think it's become more and more important now that people are looking at traceability and where things come from and knowing exactly what's in what you're eating and drinking. These went in at the end of April this year.
Oh, right.
Hopefully, next year we'll see if we can certainly get some beer with our own hops in.
Fantastic. But hidden away in another barn is the most surprising thing yet. Tom and Jill have installed their own bottling plant. Oh, let me press some buttons. So is it ready to go?
It is indeed.
Can I press the button?
You can indeed. Okay, let go.
Hey, look at that.
More and more people seem to be drinking at home, so we actually feel that the future of this particular brewery is actually in bottles.
Yeah. The first bottle comes off the line, and it was thirsty work pressing that button. Hey, I want that one.
Oh no, we keep that. Hang on, no, we want that for sampling.
Oh, sorry. It's the first one I did. I actually produced it. To come to a farm in the middle of the Wolds and to find this going on, I think it's something else. Hundreds of them, thousands of them. Tom and Jill's daughters get stuck in too. What I love about this is it's obviously a family effort, isn't it?
Yes.
All members of the family in a row, bottling these bottles. You never get bored of it, obviously. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you never get bored of putting bottles in boxes.
I think they need a helping hand. Is bottling something you enjoy?
When everything runs smoothly, absolutely brilliant.
So is it a dozen in here?
And every time it comes off and you hear the machine just going clink, 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 and there's another bottle, it's absolutely great.
So what do I do now?
Then put it down over the top and then just push it through.
Look at that. Right, come on, get it going. Unfortunately, I start holding things up by chatting, and then I get a little bit cocky with the buttons. Press and hold it. And one thing leads to another.
Sugar.
Time for that picnic.
You're a bitter one. We'd like some Wold Top bitter. That's our
I would.
very hoppy session beer.
A hoppy one.
It's even more of a bestseller at the moment because people seem to be going for the lower alcohol beers.
It is. I think beer goes really well with food.
There's a lot more said now about what you drink with what you eat. And beers have really wandered into this along with wine, that they're becoming recognised as a beer to go with the food.
That is nice. It's refreshing.
Tom sells that as a good beer for putting the world to rights and drinking too much of.
Yeah. Good.
Especially when nobody else will listen.
Great beer, great food, great company. That's Wold Top Brewery booked for my beer festival. Right, Robert. Head the Brigadier west. We're off to Theakson's in Massam. Simon Theakson, MD and great-great-grandson of the original Mr. Theakson, is showing me around. I'd better be on my best behaviour.
Hello. Very nice to see you. Welcome.
Yeah, we've had a great drive over.
Have you really? That's splendid.
Yeah. Bear with me. I know you can't describe Theakson's as a microbrewery, but they were once.
Oh, here we are.
Oh, it's
Very
great
nice to
to
see you.
come.
Well, nice to
Absolutely.
see you. Absolutely.
But the likes of Copper Dragon and Wold Top could easily become the next Theakson's. Robert, can you have a look after that? I think I'm good for some time.
Come on, David. We're going to have a proper look around.
So with its great history and traditional ways, I think it's worth trying to cadge a free pint.
The company was founded by my great-great-grandfather in 1827, and he took the lease of a pub here in Maston called the Black Berlin. And in those days, landlords had to brew their own beer. So he built a brew house on the back of the Black Berlin. And then in 1870, he decided to build this brewery here because the demand for his beer had grown to the point where he needed additional brewing capacity. Just one more flight of steps to go, David. In those days, of course, there was no such thing as tea or coffee or lemonade or anything. So the only thing that people actually lived on from a liquid point of view was ale, because water was pretty well poisonous. There's no purification process or sewage systems, of course. So the only thing that people could drink healthily was ale. Yeah. And for children, they had small beer, or boys' beer as it was sometimes called. So every community, every small town, every village had to have its brewery.
Didn't they all just get hammered?
It was probably because beer was fermented to a lower alcohol content.
So Theakston's got off to a great start, but the history is not without its ups and downs.
In many ways, Theakston's is a snapshot of the brewing industry of the last 180 odd years or so, and we became part of another brewery. We were taken over in 1984. So we were thrilled to bits that in 2003 we were able to buy the company back again.
That is just brilliant news. I just love that.
Well, I feel as though we won the lottery 2 weeks running.
Yeah.
To have the chance to buy our old family company back again.
And what could be better?
No, it's just been wonderful, actually.
I'm really...
Oh, David, thank you
please.
very much. That's very kind of you. That was very kind, very kind. Anyway.
Right, what happens here? Come on, pull yourself together, Ainsworth. Right, hops. This is what Wold Top Brewery are hoping to grow on their farm. This is a flower head, isn't it?
That's the flower head, yes. It's the yellow nectar around the seeds there.
Yeah.
And that's what we want.
And that's, if you rub it, I think it...
It is, it's very tacky and pungent.
And that's what puts the bitterness into the beer, isn't it?
Yeah. When we talk about bitter in brewing, we don't mean sour as in lemons, we mean dry as in dry white wine. So a pint of bitter actually is a pint of dry beer.
Hey, this place is something else. What a whopper.
It is, it's great, isn't it?
That looks as though it's the original. Look at all the brasswork.
It's all original, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So this is Kevin Proctor, our foreman brewer, and Kevin's been here since he was a lad, and his father worked here before him. So it's not just the Theakston family brewery, it's the Proctor family brewery as well. And this mash tun is the one and only. It was installed brand new in 1875 and has been fully operational ever since.
Really? I think this is the biggest mash tun I've ever been in, because most of the other breweries have just been small micro ones. So you're just trying to get everything down this hole in the middle, are you? It's fantastic. Simon, did you do this when you were a boy?
We all did, it's part of our initiation.
Privileged to be in there, Simon.
You joined a select band, David.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, rock on.
Yeah. So, David, this copper was installed in the brewery in 1936. It's now got a lid on it, but when I was a boy, it was completely opened.
So when it was opened, did the steam just...
The steam just built it up, and the roof at the top of the brewery is naturally vented. Can you see? But when this building was constructed in 1875, it was a state-of-the-art modern industrial unit.
You forget that, don't you?
I know, it's extraordinary.
And I bet people came from all over to look at it. This latest, most wonderful machine that nobody's ever seen before. Yeah, with a building like this and all this equipment, you can't not produce a great product. It's got to have feel and passion, and it's so much more interesting than just a modern shed with stainless steel vats and everything worked by computers. This is a proper job.
If you come this way.
Simon spent his childhood playing around the brewery, and when he was 11, the workers tried to get him drunk.
And it was in this very little area here that I sampled my first ever Theakston's beer.
So this is quite a hallowed
It is, it's a hallowed sort of shrine almost.
You know, I'm really beginning to develop a thirst. Now, really? I would just love to have a pint in the position where you had your very first pint.
Well, your wish is my command, David.
Brilliant. I'm in a hallowed spot, and cheers.
Very good health.
The smell in here is absolutely wonderful. But I think Simon's wondering who on earth he's let into his sanctuary.
The Theakston yeast culture has been with us for decades and generations, but I wouldn't taste it if I were you, David. Well,
it must taste of something.
OK, we'll taste of something. It'll be rather a strange taste.
It's just very, very yeasty. Obviously, it's very, very yeasty. That's what it tastes of. But I've never tasted it by itself before.
Well, there we are. We skim off that which we need for the following day's brew, and the excess yeast we sell to local farmers who use it as fertiliser on their fields.
Oh, so
the bigger brewing companies sell their excess yeast to Marmite and to Bovril.
Well, I never knew that. Oof, he was right. That was disgusting. I need a pint of the proper stuff. Robert, do you fancy an orange juice? Poor lad. Something about going around a brewery that makes you very, very thirsty. You know, I actually think you can actually taste your family history in this. Do you feel like that about it?
Well, in a funny kind of way, I suppose we do, David. You know, you can't help thinking that one's great-great-grandfather's looking your shoulder, making sure that we're doing the right thing with his beer.
Yeah. Now, all good ideas come over a beer or 5. Even though we shouldn't allow a big boy into the festival, how about we have a bit of fun? What we could do is have a mystery beer.
Oh, that's a good
idea. You know, we have one of your casks there.
Yeah.
You can choose whichever one you want it to be, and we cover that cask up. And people taste it and have to identify it.
Yes.
Do you think it would work?
I think it's a great idea, and I would suggest Old Peculiar might be the one because it's so sort of unique.
It's distinctive, isn't it?
It's
Very distinctive beer, yeah.
Absolutely.
So shall we do that?
Let's do that, David.
Yeah, great,
good
brilliant.
idea. Yeah,
Cheers.
Well, less talking, more drinking.
So with my mystery beer on board, it's time to say farewell to one of the nicest blokes in brewing. You broke me. Come on, Robert, a bit more right foot. In the next and final programme, we discover the last of our breweries to feature in our festival, which all goes very well. Right, would anybody like any free beer? And of course, we announce the winner of Yorkshire's Perfect Pint. Right, gather round everybody. Cheers.